who can predict what vision we see in the last hour of our life? If it were her, wouldn't I know I had seen something, spoken to someone? Even now, I am remembering this forever. She's in his movie, but for now, she'll answer my questions. I'll be doing an assist, treating her like the star that she is before the drag-ass bastards at the Times recognize it. That's my grungy little lab she's prepping in, my 6-inch sink, my 150-watt glare with no fixture because my cheap-ass landlord repaired it with a chain, so you can't put a fixture. Rude light on such a face. That face can cope with anything. It's my jam poster with Tower Bridge over the Thames. Will she notice? It's my Bob from when his B-string was out. Bob doing a Woody Guthrie, and yet with every step reinventing himself, his whole self, as I now reinvent. No, Dad, you did not send me to Yale for this. No one can send anybody anywhere for this, for her. When I use that room tonight, whenever I wash up, shave, brush my teeth, she'll have been there. Something I earned all alone at a film at the top, and which no one believed and no one could see how it could earn me a living. A living? What's this if not living, Dad? She's not here to talk to you. You do not have her on the floor of the exchange. Well, you do that for you. I goddammit do this for me. For her. For the new Fassbinder. The new Scorsese. The new Pennebaker. The new Truffaut. And you know what, Dad? It's for film at the top that this lithe Russian beauty is smoothing her lipstick, her hair, for one freeze frame I can use in my article. Image of her in that dress that's like a vision out of scripture before which a man ought to genuflect. All your expert lunges and flicks cannot reach me to teach me tonight, Dad. Nothing you believe about your waste of a wastrel's son hurts any of this. It was my perspicacity led me to no standing in St. Petersburg. Call the director in. Call her in for me to speak to her like a star. Laugh. Enjoy the laugh. Assholes, I am contented to be the first to use that term for her. I told her there is vodka. Played that one way down. It's in the freezer. Leave it at that. She'll have, she won't. Don't ask for too much. This is your profession, so keep it professional. Remember the balance. It's not about your dumbass list like the Vigo screw-up. Never again the Vigo screw-up. Leave those spaces, the silence, for memory to fall into place. Don't let her get away, either. You want the story, Sure. Oh, my God. How do you speak to such eyes? Keep from falling in, drowning, stutter like butthead. Yeah. Should I shoot her from above so she's looking up a little, like Bernini's St. Teresa? That angle's never done. Oh, there's a reason. Or is there? Listen, if you do it, do it. Don't half do it, And do yourself a favor. Remember to turn the fucking switch on the Sennheiser, okay? That way you will have sound. Sound is good. Paul Thomas Anderson was brilliant about the master. Now you have to hire a lip reader because that little switch was in the off position. And do the first question straight out of the air. Don't read it. Look at her. Say it direct. Shows her you remember what she said on the phone. Say, so why do you think you won't work with him again?
I would. It's a nice little vignette. I can't conceive to be asked again.
So, Why do you think you won't work with him again?
I would. It's a nice little vignette. I can't conceive to be asked again. By the time your article is up, he'll have found another blonde with an intriguing accent. Drive to JFK, you'll find a dozen of us, climbing into taxis 3 at a time. Or walk to Port Authority. We pour out of the Greyhounds.
But he said nice things about your performance.
Of course, I'm in his picture. That's politics. I mean, that's publicity. Well, they're the same, no? In other words, bullshit. Nothing to do with what's real.
Has he ever complained to you?
Things happened, to tell you what.
Can you give me a what's what?
In the film, you see Bear on the shelf behind Ilya. Peter brought it to fill in spaces, fine. And he says to me, this time, do the scene to Bear. He wants Raymond to hold the bear, make a voice for Bear. He wants this duet with a stuffed toy from his childhood.
Did that bother you?
Shouldn't it?
Why?
Because he wanted it to bother me. As if he can't fire up sufficient cinema magic for his Forchikovian screenplay between this bird and another human being. Let's bring Bear in to liven up the Russian chick. Tilt her off base. We need something we can use.
Did he say that?
He's so transparent, I can hear him thinking. Has an idea, it's written on his forehead. And it's probably short enough. I know why the bear. Oh, the bear. Brilliant, the bear. Raymond calls it doing Cassavetes. I know all about Cassavetes. I met his wife, Gina Rowlands. It was party, Santa Monica, 3 months after I arrived. You want to know what she said to me? She said, John would have loved your face for the lens. She said that. I didn't make that up. So I've seen Cassavetes. I was shooting in Boston, and I went to see what's the name? The guy who writes books, and he showed me the first version of Shadows.
Even I've never seen it. How did you swing that?
Well, he said no in the email, but when he saw me in Boston, he said yes.
How was it?
The point is that I've seen it all, more than anybody. You want to do a Cassavetes? It's not so easy as a bear. Most of the time, even Cassavetes couldn't do a Cassavetes. To make magic, you need to be a magician. Otherwise, you need to direct. All the time he's telling me, good, great, nice job. And all his direction is like, lower your head an inch. Or, now try a whisper. In Russia, you don't do a Cassavetes. You sit around the table, you interrogate the meaning, mark off the beats. When you have Stanislavski, Myrholt, Vakhtangov, when you have Mikhail Chekhov, you don't need to bring in Bear.
For most films, you do an around the table.
Of course, it's the practice for people who are trained. Oh, no, we had tables here. We're in this Cuban hole-in-the-wall for espresso. Peter, half of his life's his little espresso joints, has them all over Manhattan. He knows the baristas, they know the writer, artist who sits in the corners forever. So, this little Cuban bodega, he calls it his office. Good. I'm thinking we're gonna discuss the character, what is exactly the period, answer all the questions. First, there is this preamble about where these great coffee Cubans do the roasting for Café Cubano, and about the crema that sits atop the espresso, and how his barista Irene makes his macchiato at Café Impronte in Venezia, where it is served with a slice of lemon, and why Don Fanucci in Godfather 2 sips his espresso thusly. Until finally, we get to the topic number 1. The teapot. Yes, the teapot. И вот начинается беседа о чайнике на полчаса. What way should it look to look Russian? Wherever will we find one? Do I happen to have one? truly made in Russia by Russians. What color is it? If it's white, forget it. White is the enemy of photography. It's red, you say? Wonderful. But what about the sugar bowl? Do you have them even in Russia? Finally, I have to say, in Russia we do have things from other countries. Teapots from England, from France. But I did not say what I really wanted to say.
What was that?
Я хотела сказать, что если в фильме, Питер, твой замечательный красный заварочный чайник появится на экране больше 10 секунд, я дам тебе 10 штук долларов.
Could you say that in English?
I just did.
No, you said it in Russian.
I've been speaking to you in English.
Yes, but not that. You said that in Russian.
Did I?
Yes, you did. Can you say it in English?
Sure. Sorry. That never happened before.
Well, not that you know of.
What do you mean?
Well, you could be saying dozens of things in Russian, walking away thinking it was English.
But it is me to whom New Yorkers think they're speaking English. They walk away from me. I have no idea what they just said, because it's no kind of English to me.
Something about a teapot.
Yes, teapot, English. So, what I wanted to say is, if in the film, Peter, we will see your beloved red Russian teapot for more than 10 seconds, I will give you $10,000. And if I win, you can buy me a ticket to leave this mad city, and I can go swim in the Red Sea.
Egypt. Isn't that where you got the part? Egypt. Or am I wrong about that?
Mm-hmm. Egypt.
What were you doing in Egypt?
Swimming. It was tough times for me. I wanted to know less about family, friends, responsibilities. Wanted to have nothing in my head. Not even to have a body if I could. To be a wave. Gently up, gently down. Вверх, вниз. Вверх, вниз. To be in the blue air, empty and contaminated. Not to see, to hear, to trust the soul for anything. And then, if I could have the strength, make my way into the theater somewhere. So I went to sit in the sand, and there is Peter, dressed completely for a street, like a ghost in reverse. Everything black, with a big black bag for his camera. Something about 9/11. Why exactly Egypt, I did not understand. So he asked me how's the water, we talked, and then he said, I have no connections, no resources, but I have a camera and a microphone. So if you ever come to a theater in New York, I'll write a film for you. He gave me his card. He left me politely. And that was a smart thing, because one more word and I would have had to shoot him.
Still, you kept the card.
No. What for? Every guy is writing film for me. Dozens. Haven't you seen them all? Sure. And then I buy Brooklyn Bridge. No. This card never made it off the beach. Let the Red Sea call him. Let the Red Sea swallow it. 3 years later, he saw me a waitress at a diner on Pearl Street. It was funny to see him dressed absolutely the same. Black Dracula with a big black case for his camera. He was still downtown for 9/11. He said, should I write that film for you? I said, are you still poor? He said, I have less than ever. I don't even have a World Trade Center to look for wherever I walk in the streets. But it would be nice to make something that is not a hard world of destruction. I thought he would place me on the Upper West Side. Instead, he put me back in St. Petersburg, playing my own great-grandmother.
Did he speak to you to write the screenplay?
No, he made it up. Then he came to the diner. He ordered his breakfast. I didn't ask about it because I knew it wouldn't exist. Then, without a word, he hands me an envelope, the kind for priority. He circled the word priority. He said it's a reminder, we should be sure to do it, not to wait forever. Because we live in a world of perfect excuses to never make art. So we did it.
Let me read to you something he said.
To you? For the article?
Yes.
Okay.
He said, "When I was in grade school, the air raids sounded for us to line up in the hall, crouch down, clasp our hands over our heads, and pray because it meant that the Russians were coming to drop H-bombs over us. You never forget that. Or Khrushchev banging his shoe on the desk at the UN saying, 'We will bury you.' And now, here, I was writing a screenplay for a girl out of Russia, a Russian I met on the shores of the Red Sea, and then by chance in a diner downtown where I had come to feel that life was meaningless. Life is not meaningless. It's just very, very peculiar."
He is peculiar. That I can tell you. He comes to rehearsals with the chocolate bars for the cast, talking about all his researches and how these are the best, the cheapest bars from Trader Joe. Can you imagine in Russia, the director, who is also a writer, does that? "Hello, how are you?" But then it's the text, all the text. How do we do it? And not the bars of the best chocolate. Drama is more than taste buds.
How was the chocolate?
That's not the point.
But how was it?
Do you think it'll change things if I say it was good?
Doesn't it change things a little?
Not at all.
I would think that maybe it does.
It did not for Baryshnikov.
How did Baryshnikov get into this?
He walked into this. It's where we rehearse. His place, Baryshnikov Art Center on 10th Avenue. Because of all the chocolate, rehearsal is running late. The door opens up. It's Misha. He's rehearsing a show for Mark Morris, and he's using his own rooms. This 1 hour is listed for him now. But here's the Candyman trying to finish out the scene. Quickly, we pack our things. Peter is gathering all the props. Misha takes Peter's pair of shoes and hands him over to him without a word. That was something to see. I've never seen the exchange of shoes to mean so much. Instead of apologizing, Peter says, "Elena is from St. Petersburg." Misha looks at me, speaks to me one sentence in Russian. I speak to him one sentence. Off we go, leaving him to his work.
Now, of course, you have to give me the exchange.
Oh, you cannot put this in.
I mean, this is gold.
You cannot put this in.
The most interesting
You
thing.
cannot put this in, or I don't even say it.
It makes such a great point about...
The answer is no.
Can I just say one more thing about the point this would make for readers of Film at the Top, about
Of
the
course,
essence of what it
yes,
is to
you can
make
do
independent
it, but just
film
wait
in New
until
York.
I leave.
All right, I'm sorry. I won't put it in. I'm just doing my best for the article, trying to make it sing. What was the exchange?
So, can I trust you now? Because, you know, I do have a job, and I work with directors. This one, or maybe that one again, you know?
I understand. No, I won't use it. What was the exchange?
Baryshnikov said, "Why do you work with this asshole?
And you said?
This is what I have to do until I don't have to do it."
Can we just pause for a minute?
To ask me again?
No, just a moment to say goodbye to what would be the best thing for the article. It's all there. It's perfect. It's everything we're talking about.
Have you said your goodbye yet?
I guess so.
Good, because if you haven't, I'll ask the guy who blew me out of the building I lived in Brooklyn to help you say all kind of goodbyes.
All right. All right. But now help me to understand something. You've had your complaints.
I'm not complaining.
Well, you've had your critique of the process.
Yes.
And yet you yourself have said it's a nice little short.
Sure.
So,
and he's not that bad, really. It's just too many of him. Not in a bad way, but not in a good way either. It unsettles me. This shifting configuration, all the parts that don't match up, as if 13 people meant to be 13, but got jumbled into one. You know?
I'm not sure that I understand.
Well, most of the people are 2 or 3 people. That's, for me, it's enough. That's a lot. That's even too much. If you're 13, forget it. It's not your fault, but forget it.
I'm still not quite clear on the 13.
Forget the 13. Forget the chocolate bars. Forget the teapot. Forget Fanucci's espresso. If you promise not to put it in, I'll tell you a secret thought that I had. Can you promise me not to put it in?
Sure.
So I had a thought that Peter, he wasn't quite all right because of all this time with the 9/11 thing. Do you think that's possible? The chocolate, the bear, and even the theme of Russia. And as he said it to you, it brings him back to the kind of terrorism. He's trying to cope. He's okay, and yet he's not. He misses his towers too much. His old America, old New York. He shoots in the rubble. He shoots beyond the rubble. He goes to Egypt. Why? Perhaps to follow on the fundamentalism. Who knows? And so, maybe he's a little... just a little...
A little what?
You won't put it in?
I won't.
A little not right.
In the head?
In the head.
Cracked?
Not necessary in half.
In places?
In a few.
It's an interesting idea.
But you can't put this in.
I won't.
Promise?
I promise.
You online film guys can get pretty wild. What's the word? Irreproachable.
Believe me, I don't want the blow-up guys from Brooklyn.
That did not actually happen to me. It was my best friend Marina. She came home from work. Her sofa was floating in Newtown Creek.
Does that mean I can bring back the Baryshnikov exchange?
Marina will do anything for me. And she still knows the guy, and the guy still knows the guys he used to know, who helped him with a little problem of rent control.
Is any of this true?
About the blowouts? Yes. I mean, of course she doesn't know the guys. Who hangs out with the guy who blows you out of your building?
Sorry, Anne. It's just, you hear some crazy things about Russians in New York.
If you hear crazy things about Russians in New York, and you have 2 choices to believe or not to believe, the safest thing is to believe. Peter said something back in the Red Sea. I remember on the beach he said, I wanted to see if the Red Sea was really red. And I told him that depends on who is in it. He said, the East River is like that. The Hudson River is like that. All the waters of New York are like the Red Sea for me. He also said something like, you will come to New York and it will become a new New York. I have forgotten he said that. I remember it clear now. You will come and it will become a new New York.
Well, you could see that he was a sad man.
Sure. So what? Sad men are as much full of shit as any others. Sad is not a reason to believe anybody. You're sad, I'm sad. In 60 seconds, we all have enough sad in us to last a lifetime. If you're going to keep the promise to author a screenplay, sad won't do it. Good thing that you wrote it, but I would have some advice. If you are at Baryshnikov, and here is Baryshnikov, and you've had your chocolate time, button your lip, walk straight away. Do not say Elena is from St. Petersburg. Misha meets 8,000 Elenas from St. Petersburg. In the dance elevator, here is Elena from St. Petersburg. Who cleans his apartment? Elena from St. Petersburg. Dropping down from the sky? Elena from St. Petersburg. Misha did not run away from St. Petersburg in order to be plagued by Elenas from St. Petersburg. He can stop the migration, but he doesn't need to be introduced every half an hour. Did I really say what I said to you in Russian before?
Forcefully.
You didn't imagine it phase out.
I phased out on interviews, not on this one. Besides, if you don't speak Russian, you don't phase out in Russian.
I wonder what it means.
Maybe it's the sound of the New York.
No. I think it means that I have to go for a swim. Oh, sorry, I have to take this one. Hey. Oh, no, I told you I'll be late. No, I told you I have an interview with the guy from a film site. The film site. Room at the top?
Film at the top.
What?
Film at the
Film
top.
at the top. Neither have I. What's the difference? How many film sites can anybody name? I don't know, but he's going to post it. What else would he do with it? I don't know. We didn't discuss that. Yes, I could ask him, but I'm not going to ask him. Because I agreed, we're here, we're doing it. Is there a problem with that? Listen, if you're that hungry, just eat. You don't have to wait for me. I'll get something around. No, in the deli. I'm not going to dinner with anybody. I'd go to dinner with you, but you said you're too hungry, so don't. Just go. Because I told you about it 3 times. Listen, instead of me telling you that I told you about it, just go get your dinner. I'll finish my I told you precisely we're doing it in his apartment. Because it's convenient. For me. I told you, you know. I can't concentrate in a fucking coffee shop. No, I have no idea. All I know is the longer you talk to me, the longer it'll take. So... Hello? Hello? Блять.
Do you want to stop? You can stop. I'm sorry. Do you need to go? How about if I just ask you one more question? Is that okay?
Sure.
What was it like to play your great-grandmother?
It wasn't anybody's great-grandmother. It was me in the $18 dress from thrift shop in Williamsburg, sitting in front of the sofa pillows in West Hampton's apartment.
Well, I'll just finish by saying that the viewer doesn't see it that way. I didn't.
I didn't either. Pay no attention. Did you say there's stolichna in the freezer? for 3 minutes. Treat me like a Russian. Pour me some vodka. Will you? It was funny, but my boyfriend called me exactly at the time when I was doing that.
Are you serious?
Yeah, absolutely.
No. Really?
Yeah.
You're serious?
Yeah.
When I was in grade school, the air raids sounded for us to line up in the hall, crouch down, clasp our hands over our heads, and pray. Because the Russians were coming to drop H-bombs over us. You don't forget that. Or Khrushchev banging his shoe on the desk at the UN saying, "We will bury you." Now there I was writing a screenplay for a girl out of Russia. A Russian I had met on the shores of the Red Sea, and then by chance in a diner downtown where I felt life had become meaningless. Life is not meaningless. It's just very, very peculiar.